Every 4 years, the smoke clears and the barbecue Bible is rewritten. Texas Monthly has crowned the 5 greatest barbecue spots on earth. These aren't just restaurants, they're pilgrimages, where fire, smoke, and patience become art. Today we step inside their pits, their stories, and their secrets to find out what it takes to be called the best in the world. Brought to you by Huckberry.
The Texas Monthly Top 50 Barbecue list is pretty much the biggest thing in barbecue. So it's kind of a funny story how I found out we made the list. Good friend of ours, Ernest Cervantes from the Burnt Bean, they made #1. And he calls me and he's like, bro, did you see what number you are? And I was like, I thought it came out at 8. And he's like, it's already out. And I'm like, send me a screenshot, man, please. So I looked at the screenshot and it was just like, oh my God. And it was just a whole surreal moment. But what I really find special about it is everybody who we have working, including me, including my dad, my pitmasters, none of us had experience. None of us worked at Franklin's. None of us worked at Goldee's. Everything we've done, we figured out on our own, and every day we just make it happen, man. We just make it happen. My whole family, especially on my dad's side, every kid was in sports and every one of them was a great athlete. So growing up in Texas, you watch Texas Longhorns, college football. And my favorite moment in sports history is the 2005 National Championship, Texas Longhorns versus USC. And that year, Reggie Bush won the Heisman. I thought it should have been Vince Young, but it went to Reggie Bush. So I was like, man, this is huge for Vince. Like, they win this, that shows like he should have gotten there, right? So it was a crazy game and it came down to the very end. It was a 4th and 5 with a few seconds left. And they were like at the 10 or 11 yard line. And they snapped the ball to Vince Young and he's looking in the end zone, he doesn't see nobody. He rolls out, he gets to the edge and right to the pylon and he scores and they win it, man. And as a kid seeing that, I went crazy, I went nuts because that was my team. Preparation is huge when it comes to preparing for games, but it's the same thing in the restaurant business. I do like the rain, in the morning especially, where my mind's always 100 miles an hour. And just for a split second, I can take a moment, listen to the rain, hear the fires, just relax, and then it kind of calms you and brings you down, and then you can get back to it. Those first few logs we had in here, they already burned out, so we got a little bit of a cold bed, nothing crazy. So we'll throw some more logs on there, and I like to throw a little bit more like the rounds. It gives a little bit more smoke, and that's what I want in the beginning of the cook, to get some color on the proteins. And then later we'll start hitting with splits just for the heat. A couple of rounds right on top for smoke. One of my favorite athletes of all time is Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is known for the Mamba mentality. The Mamba mentality is just being the best version of yourself and getting better every day. So it doesn't matter if you didn't get sleep the night before, you gotta be there. You gotta show up. Sometimes I wasn't able to go home. Like for days I was there and I didn't get to go home. I would go to the office and I'd lay down there and just pass out, maybe for 20, 30 minutes just to get some sleep and then come out and just keep going. And, those were tough times, but I mean, that's what it took to get to where we're at. So the process for the ribs started yesterday. We seasoned them in the evening. They sit overnight and I feel like that flavor penetrates a little bit better. Our pork ribs go on first because that's what takes the longest. So we put our pork ribs and then right after that we put on briskets. So the brisket, we're gonna cold smoke those for a good 2 hours, maybe 3, 150 to 200. So we like to start pretty low and it just lets them relax and loosen up. These have been sitting and walking for all night. So if you just throw them in and you're already at a 250, normally what's gonna happen is they're gonna like kind of tighten up. And that's when you get the curl on the lean and stuff. So we wanna slowly bring them up in temp. So we'll be about 150, 200 in the next 3 hours. And then from there is when we start cranking up to 250, 275, and we're rolling right there the rest of the day. So right now we got 30 briskets on for tomorrow. Yeah, so currently we have a lot of guys in the kitchen in the pit room who do have culinary degrees. Danny comes in, you know, at 4:35 a.m., makes all the sides by himself usually, and we have like 10 to 12 sides daily, and he just gets it done, and he never complains. He just comes in and does his job. And be like, hey, Danny, we got this catering on top of your daily, you know, sides you gotta make, and it's a big, huge order, and all right, I got you. And he'll do it, he'll get it done.
So we're pretty known for our cornbread here. It ain't your ordinary mama's cornbread. Here we don't hold back. It's a honey butter cornbread, and literally that's what we put in. Honey and butter, and we don't shy away from that.
A lot of people call that God's cornbread.
Oh yeah.
Rob, he's like my right-hand guy. When he came on, I didn't have too much help in the kitchen. My mind was everywhere. I was all over the place. I used to make sides and go to the back to the pits and go cut and stuff. So when Rob came, he was a huge help. He was a guy who was hungry, who he saw the vision and he matched my energy, and I was like, all right, you know, we could do this together. Let's do it. And he's become a brother to me.
So for the backside, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of Fiesta Seasonal. Give it a nice little golden color once it comes off. Give it that nice little salty bite right underneath with the beautiful fat of this Hakioshi beef.
16 mesh goes on our briskets and our dino ribs. Everything else, every other protein, I use 32. It's a smaller mesh. It gives better coverage to the meat, and it creates a nicer looking bark. It gets darker. So our flavor profiles at GW's are pretty simple. It's Central Texas style. It's salt, pepper, a little bit of seasonal just for a little extra punch. That's what we love. So we're just gonna come in here and place everything on. Our turkeys, we'll ball it up, kind of tuck everything underneath, plug it up. Here you see it has like a really nice color.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks good. How I got into cooking and barbecue, just how I grew up, my parents used to watch Food Network a lot. So I was always glued to the TV and I was always watching it. And I loved the whole aspect of the restaurant, being a small local business, serving all this great food, making people happy. I loved it. Right now we're just gonna cube up the pork belly. Took the ends off. It's just so we could get a nicer presentation. You get the nice cubes. So these ends though, so they don't go to waste, we're gonna chop them up into little pieces, and we make a pork belly fried rice. That's probably been our most popular side as of lately. I mean, it's got pork belly in it and fried rice, can't go wrong. When I graduated high school, I was so deep into sports, and high school finished, and that was it. Like I didn't have no offers from, you know, college, anything like that. So it was like, what do I do now? Because all I ever wanted to do was play sports. But it was like, well, people say, do what you love. And my only other love was cooking. And I told my parents, and they were like, cooking? Like, they knew I loved cooking, but it was just never something I ever mentioned. So I gave it a shot. I went to culinary school for 2 years. And then when I got out, COVID happened, you know, and everything shut down. And shortly after, my dad actually bought a food truck because he wanted to do it together, because that was what I wanted to do, and he knew I couldn't find anything at the time. And man, when we started, we used to sell like 1 brisket, maybe 2 briskets. If we sold 1 brisket, we were happy. It was awesome. So slowly we started growing, and we had talked about opening a restaurant, a barbecue restaurant. And we decided to put everything we had into it, and we were gonna do it. And we found that location that we're at currently. So before GW's opened, the location was a Mexican restaurant. and we used to go eat there a lot. And we ate there so much to where I got tired of it. Now it's my home, like I live there. But the features do have that Spanish style to it, Spanish tile inside. The building on the outside, looks, that Spanish features. But the inside, you walk in and we've done our best to make you feel comfortable. So the way the team functions right now at GW's, for me, I like to say right now we have the A team. In the front, you have my wife, Ruby, Alec, my little brother, Gavin, and Rathan. Rathan started as a dishwasher, and now he's like one of our front of the house managers. And those guys up there, they take lead in the front. And it's just, we want you to feel like you're at our house. You come in and you sit down, it's like you're at our backyard barbecue and you're just a guest there. And we want to make sure, you feel welcomed.
But do you want pickles, onions, greens on that? And then how about any bread or barbecue sauce?
Yes.
Gavin, he is my little brother, my youngest brother. He is our meat cutter right now, and he helps me a lot at the restaurant. He's really grown a passion for barbecue, and Gavin is very artistic. He's an artist. He'll draw out the whole tray. He'll draw your brisket and the ribs and the color schemes of everything, of how it's gonna present.
Everything should be in a frame, like a work of art. The tray should have a certain flow to it. And that's what I'm teaching Alec right now, our other meat cutter.
Alec is one of the ones who went to culinary school, and he just has a big passion for food, and now we're teaching him how to cut. And he was always just in the kitchen, and he used to cook with us in the back in the pits, and now he's meat cutting, and he's learning that part of it right now. He cares, so I love that about Alec. I could tell him, like, I need something done, and I need it to be a certain way, and I know it's gonna get done. And Gavin's on top of him. Gavin's like, hey, you need to do this better, you need to do that. Sometimes we bicker or we get mad at each other. But at the end of the day, man, we love each other, and we're just a big family.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ruby, my wife, since we've started this whole journey, even before the restaurant, we had our food truck. She's been there with us since the beginning. She manages the restaurant, she does the scheduling, she oversees the front a lot. And she also, being there with me, she keeps me in check as well. There's times I was tired and exhausted and I didn't know what I wanted to do no more. And she was like, hey, if you have this dream, you have to go after it. She's really pushed me to get where I'm at. Sorry. So our current style is we're open till 4 p.m. or until sold out. I really don't like selling out too early. I don't like it. Especially now, you have people traveling from different states and different cities, and I don't want them to get there and for them to not have any food or to not get what they want. So we have Carlos. He hasn't been here too long, but just in a short amount of time, he's made a pretty big impact.
Beef ribs, you can almost kind of just forget about them. They'll do their thing. But briskets, you really got to babysit them. The last task of the day is to get all of these briskets pulled off the pit. One of the first things that goes on, one of the last things that comes off, and our goal with the briskets is to get them to, where they're nice and tender, but almost to the point of being overdone, but not quite over that edge, you know what I mean?
I think the biggest mistake people make when it comes to cooking brisket is just not having patience. People think they can put it on at noon and it's gonna be done for dinner. It ain't gonna happen. You gotta wake up real early and just be patient with it and cook low and slow all day if you want a good brisket, right? So it just takes time, be patient.
No crispy edges, huh?
No crispy edges.
Oh, geez.
That's why they got me out here. They're like, Carlos, I need you outside, man. I'm like, I want to go inside. The AC feels good in there. No, it's because we don't want the briskets to get all crispy. I'm like, okay.
Makes sense to me.
The guy's a goofball, but he's a hard worker. He comes in, asks what needs to be done, and it gets done, My favorite Kobe story is probably his last game. And I've heard a story where Shaq talks about he saw him before the game. And they kind of made like a little bet. And he was like, I think something like, I bet you can't get 40. And he was like, all right. And then he gets 61 points. And it's like, nah, that's badass. Like, tell me I can't do it and I'm gonna do it. That is Kobe Bryant. My favorite thing about cooking barbecue is that pursuit of perfection. That's what excites me. That's what it's all about. So I've lived in the RGV my whole entire life. The RGV stands for the Rio Grande Valley, and most people just call it the Valley. There's this phrase that they say is Puro 956, and it embodies the culture of the Valley and that pride that everybody here has. It's saying that you were made here and you have these roots and that's who you are. It's pretty far south from Central Texas from barbecue. San Antonio's 4 hours north of us. We're about 10 minutes away from the Texas-Mexico border. So being able to make the top 5 is crazy.
So where are you guys from?
Houston. We follow the Texas Monthly Barbecue list pretty closely. Just came all the way down here for barbecue.
First time and our longest drive that was 6 hours for us.
One of our favorite quotes is every second counts. And it just refers to you have to have that mentality that you don't have time to waste. If you don't get this right now, you're screwed. You have one shot. The work culture that we have at GW's is really that Mamba mentality. And you see us daily just busting our ass and getting things done. We really feed off each other. If it's your first time coming to GW's, I always recommend getting the Trinity. Those are the staples of Texas barbecue. The most popular cut of meat at GW's is the brisket. People want the beef, they love brisket, so that's our most popular item.
Come on, dude. Look at that. Let's try it. Like beef butter. Wow. Excellent quality of beef on this. Killer brisket. Come here, you gotta get the brisket. Absolutely.
And then we have our pork spare ribs, Duroc pork, which is the best we can find. You know, we keep everything simple in the seasoning, but we bring flavor with that smoke.
It's unique from other Texas spare ribs I have because of the glaze. The glaze is a lot more thicker and sweeter to me. It just had such a nice mouthfeel. It just coated the mouth with this like nice sweetness and just really cradled that pork flavor. Really stinking good pork ribs and very unique to me.
We also have our jalapeno cheese, which is something that I like to be more creative with. It's a classic Central Texas style sausage.
All right, so there's a little bit of pepper and cheese. Let's try it out. Fantastic. A little spicy, super juicy, super fatty, rich. Really well-made sausage too. It's very tight, got a really good bite to it. Fantastic on the sausage.
And we also have our pork loin. That's something that I really enjoy. It's one of my favorite cuts. We season it pretty heavily and we cook it just right. And I mean, it's super juicy, flavorful, it's awesome. It ain't your typical pork loin.
Really good, juicy, tender meat on the inside. Yeah, that would be turkey for me any day.
And then, so we also have right now for our seasonal items, we have our Chinese orange pork belly. We cook them and we put our orange glaze that we make ourselves. It's got some orange zest in there and soy sauce and different flavorings. And then we garnish it with sesame and green onion, and it's just a perfect bite as well.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. The Asian glaze just complements the pork so well, so the pork flavor really shines through, and you can tell this is a really high quality pork. And you can just see it, like the fat is just so well rendered in this. This might be the best pork belly I've ever had.
And then currently too, we're doing our herb lamb chops. We take some dried herbs and we blend them in a coffee grinder and we pretty heavily coat it on there. And then we just cook it hot and fast so it gets a little char on there.
Let's try out this lamb chop. A nice crust all around it. All right, let's go for it. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of lamb, but it's not super gamey. It's actually, the meat is very buttery, it's very tender, and then that herb crust on the outside is killer. This is really good. Wow, so tender.
And then from there, we'll have different side options every seasonal menu. Our honey butter cornbread, it's one of our most popular items. It's almost like cake, it's so good. It's addicting.
Honey butter cornbread going in. Have you ever had the cornbread that like comes out of a box? That is like the Charmander. This is like the Charizard. This is the fully evolved form of that cornbread. It's cakey, it's moist. This cornbread is so good. I would eat a whole sheet pan of this stuff.
So we have our pork belly fried rice. So we threw it on the plancha on the flat top and let that fat render get a little crispy, and threw some eggs on there, and we cooked some rice and some carrots and onions and soy sauce and seasonings. Garnish it with a barbecue spicy mayo, and we top it with sesame seeds and green onions, and it's probably our best selling side right now. It's really good.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. It's just packed with flavor. So every like scoop of this coagulated rice egg flavor bomb is just so delicious. This should not leave the menu. This is so sinking good and very unique.
And then we have currently our chado lentils. So a lot of people coming in when we first started wanted chado beans. It's something just prevalent in our area that, you know, people are used to. With this menu, I was like, I'm gonna do chados, but they're not gonna be normal chado beans, they're gonna be chado lentils. So we cook them chado bean style, so it's got bacon and onions and garlic and tomato and jalapeno. So they're very flavorful. I really enjoy the lentils right now.
Wow. It has like spice, it has like a freshness to it. The cilantro on top just adds that like kick to it. Another killer side.
We have our strawberry cobbler. People were always asking for peach cobbler, and I didn't want to be, you know, the traditional peach cobbler. I didn't want to do it. Some strawberries and rhubarb with some sugar and some lemon juice for balance, a little bit of vanilla. And we make this really good topping, like it's a crumble with some oats and butter and sugar and pecans. So good, everybody loves that cobbler. It's really good.
Oh, wow. Peach cobbler got nothing on this. This is so good. Oh my gosh. Easily one of the best barbecue trays I've ever had in my life.
My favorite thing to do during the service, once the line's already started and it's flowing, I'll stand right next to the register and I just watch the line service. And I'll watch Gavin cutting, and I'll watch the guys serving sides, you know, smiling and laughing with customers. And that's just the best part of the day right there.
Before we fire up the next barbecue story, I want to shout out today's sponsor, Huckberry. Huckberry is a one-stop men's shop built for guys who love adventure, good style, and discovering what's next. They're not just another retailer. Huckberry curates the highest quality apparel, footwear, and gear from some of the world's coolest brands. Honestly, when I'm traveling to these barbecue joints, I want to look sharp, but at the same time, I really want to be comfortable. And Huckberry nails both. Like this merino wool t-shirt from Proof. Not only does it look super good because it's tight in the chest and loose in the belly, but because it's merino wool, this thing is so soft and comfortable. I'm seriously never buying another t-shirt again. Look, with all the money you've spent on barbecue equipment and fantasy football, your wife's going to be so happy you're investing in looking sharp. So click my link in the description to shop Huckberry, the lifestyle and outdoor retailer that's got you covered. All right, now let's get back to the smoke and see how this next barbecue legend made the list.
Redbird opened, our soft opening was in August of 2023. I guess we've been open for about 5 months now. Texas Monthly is like the end-all be-all when it comes to Texas barbecue. Daniel, he's the barbecue editor for Texas Monthly. The first couple months that we had opened up, you know, Daniel actually came the weekend after we got married. He tried to catch us on a day off, but we were still dialed in. When Daniel walks in, there's this kind of like, the mood changes. I remember him eating the brisket that I'd cooked, and he loved it. He wrote an amazing article about Red Bird, called us a barbecue jewel. But what feels even better is just serving people that are so thankful that you're doing it. Red Bird BBQ is located here in Port Neches, Texas. The Golden Triangle area. We are about an hour 15 southeast of Houston. We're located in an area where it's a lot of Cajun influence, and there's not that much barbecue. You know, it really made sense for me and Delaney to move home and open up Red Bird where we grew up, because we have a lot of customers that really, truly, they're like genuinely thanking us for bringing something different to the city. It's been very successful so far. When I get into the pit room, my music's a little bit different than some of the other employees that like to work here. But if I get here first, we're listening to hip hop and hip hop only, buddy.
So it's gonna smoke a lot. This first brisket fire is gonna smoke a lot. We want a low flame, about like that. This fire will last an hour and a half.
Red Bird has always been part of the Creekstone family, and we buy their all natural line. Got to start out with good meats. I mean, if we're opening up a barbecue joint and we're not starting out with good quality meats, then like, you know, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? So the brisket goes on in the morning, 5 a.m. on the dot every morning. And so we found like 5 a.m. is a really good sweet spot. If they go 12 hours, then we're looking at 5 p.m. But if they go 13 or 14, maybe a little longer, we're looking at 7 or 8, which anybody in the barbecue world knows is if you can get your briskets off 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock, you're looking really good. You know what's crazy, bros? We've had a line since day one. I knew this area would appreciate good barbecue. I did not know how much support we were gonna have. We went from cooking 25 briskets at a pop-up to now cooking like 100 briskets a week. So it has been kind of a learning curve, but I think now the food's better than it's ever been. We're really dialed in now, so. That's why people travel for barbecue, is because you're taking this meat that's very, very hard to cook, and you're making it tender, and you're really elevating that. So we have 2,000-gallon Syntex smokers, and we love them. They are built very, very well. You know, Michael over at Syntex, he pays attention to details. You can tell every single detail of the pit was done with a purpose. We actually had to extend both smokestacks to fit them in here, so we had to extend them an extra 2 feet. And when I called Michael at Syntex, he was like, dude, they're gonna pull harder. Once you get the damper to a certain point, I think both of them cook pretty evenly. We named our pits. You know, the first pit that I got, I named it after my stepbrother, Cody. Then the second pit I got, I named after Goldee. So back in 2021, Goldee's ended up getting #1 on the Texas Monthly Top 50 list. And I was working with Johnny the time that they got #1. So I worked there for about 1.5 years. I would stay up there from 7 days, 8 days, 10 days in a row, and I would just work as much as I could. And you don't understand how long the drive is from Port Neches to Fort Worth until you take it about 50 times. But when you're going up there for that long and you're spending a lot of time with people, you just develop really good friendships. And I developed a really good friendship with every single one of them up there. You know, me and Jalen, me and Johnny, you know, me and Lane, like all of us have different relationships, and all of them were so willing to help. I wouldn't be where I'm at without them and without that experience. And so I dedicated my second smoker after them, so I named that one Goldee. Here are the different sausages we're doing right now. This is our house sausage. It's got a little bit of fresh garlic in there, red pepper flakes. This is our cayenne, spicy cheddar, and green onion sausage. You know, Cajuns love cayenne. That's kind of like the spice here. And then this is that cuisine I was telling you about. It's like, what you're seeing is like all the herbs in there, but you're also seeing like the turmeric pop out. We also infuse it with saffron water, some water.
Oh man,
and put it
you're
in
getting
there.
chefy on them.
Yeah, a little bit here and there. Yeah, so, you know, my dad's full-blooded Persian. He came from Iran, and he's always tried to incorporate our, you know, where he's from into, you know, what we grew up eating. So we eat Persian food all the time. When you're eating it, if you haven't had cuisine, it's just gonna be like a burst of flavors. It's a really cool take on like one of my favorite dishes I grew up eating.
Sausage requires a lot of patience, my friend. You really don't want sausage either this close, I feel like, because it gets too hot. So you want it maybe a little bit further away from the door, and you do not want them touching. Because if they're touching, then they won't get color. And that's like a very important step, is to make sure that they have enough space for the airflow, but also if they're touching and they don't get that beautiful color, they get more kind of just whitish. Nice little coal bed, right? But this is gonna be a nice fire for about a 130 to 150 range. And that first fire on the cold smoke, that's what I'm looking for. But that way you're able to get good smoke, kind of get these sausages off in a good time.
Sausage making is very important because it shows a lot of level of skill. And if you want to be the best and you want to be considered some of the best, your sausage has to be top notch. We always want to make sure that anything that you order here, especially the sausage that we make here, it's just something that you haven't had before, and it's very unique flavors.
Good color. This is the cuisine. They feel really nice.
I feel like a lot of barbecue joints focus more on the meats than anything else, which that's what you're supposed to do. But you also want the experience of the side dishes and everything down to the pickles and everything to be unique. It's overall gonna be a better experience. We're doing things that most barbecue joints don't have the luxury of doing because they're probably open too many days. And that allows us to be able to do everything from scratch.
So we roast garlic. We roast garlic. We put the roasted garlic in the potato salad dressing. So it's kind of like almost like a roasted garlic aioli.
Whoa, that's the cheese y'all use?
Yeah, this is the worst part of my job. Cut the cheese off this bar.
Hey, that cheese, that's what we use for the Caesar slaw. I mean, if we're gonna do Caesar slaw, we're gonna do it right, buddy.
Oh, you're gonna love it. I put a lot of Parmesan in the dressing, and then I shave Parmesan at the end once we assemble it and put that in there to really give it that Caesar slaw vibe. And then she makes homemade croutons for it.
A little bit of butter, garlic, salt, simple crouton. Amir tells me I can cut brisket with the way that I cut the bread.
It does look like that.
The cream corn from scratch. We're shucking our own corn stock that goes in the red beans, to the pickles, to the barbecue sauce, to the banana pudding.
I always whisk the eggs before I add the cornstarch just to make sure it's as smooth as possible. No chunks. Once you drop this in though, it'll drop about 20 degrees. And that's when the constant stirring begins.
On Thursdays, my wife Delaney will get here, and one of the things that she likes to knock out is the banana pudding. It's light, it's not too sweet. She's known that recipe since the day we started making it. It's very, very technical.
Delaney's the banana pudding, please. I helped last week with banana pudding, and it came out a little bit not perfect.
Yeah.
She fired you.
She fired me, straight up. Straight up fired me from the pudding.
Delaney has been a staple piece at Redbird. I mean, from the second that we decided to open up a restaurant, she's been all in.
And she goes. See you tomorrow.
We're looking at about 9 a.m. Bark's starting to set. You know, slower and slower. These first couple hours, we're really just trying to make sure we get enough smoke on them. They look good.
Yeah, so it's funny, a lot of people come in, and if you haven't been around Texas and seen barbecue joints being open maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 days a week, what do y'all do during the week? Do y'all have other we've heard, do y'all have other part-time jobs, or what do y'all do during the week? As soon as Sunday is done and we've served and we're completely done, our order for the following week comes Monday. Consider, you gotta keep in mind, we just worked all week last week. When Tuesday morning comes around, here comes another 80 to 100 briskets to trim.
So right now we're just re-trimming the briskets that we've already trimmed on Tuesday. We like to go through them, re-trim them. He's making sure that the fat level here is right.
Yeah.
Obviously, the fat level on the lean side is right as well. making sure the edges are rounded, making sure that the fat is, you know, 1/4 inch. If you have a pointy edge or the fat's too much, like you can cook a really nice brisket, but on the final slice of the product, like you'll get exposed. The retrim of the briskets, this is one of the most important parts of the brisket process.
And so we're utilizing the beef, the trim, you know, we're making 120, 140 pounds of sausage a week. Other than that, we also use the trimming for our smash burgers. So Red Bird BBQ is open on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And we're also open on Wednesdays through our window in the front. But that's strictly for the smash burgers that we do.
So where you open this up, you bring it all the way over here. We got the hook over here.
So Wednesdays are the days that we're doing burgers, but we saved a couple for you guys to try. Hope you guys like it.
Wow. I love the crispiness of the patties. Soft meat on the inside and then like crunchy, just crispy goodness on the outside. This burger is so rich that the pickles are like the perfect complement to like cut through that fat. This is like an insane burger, man. Amir was telling me that people line up 2 hours before they open on Wednesdays when they're giving out smash burgers, and like, I can see why now. Seriously, like this burger is insane.
When I was starting a restaurant, I did a lot of research of like what I could find locally and what I could source locally. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna taste better. All of the spices that we get here at Red Bird, it comes from a local company in Beaumont called Joy. Everything on the menu has these spices in it. So that was so important to us, finding really good spices that helped elevate what we were doing.
So we make our own seasoned salt here. It's Diamond Crystal's kosher salt, a little bit of our Cajun rub we make in-house, and then some garlic powder, onion powder. I like to season the ribs like maybe an hour before we load them. Just kind of so like they can sweat a little bit.
So Joy off the bat, that was kind of something that made sense for us. And then also sourcing our honey. You know, we use a lot of honey here. Our rib glaze is like a hot honey rib glaze. So we put a lot of honey in there. The sweetness that you get, that's coming from local honey. You can taste it. It just tastes fresh, and it tastes like you just got it out of, you know, in your backyard.
In my opinion, you don't want near as much smoke on ribs as you do brisket. The bottom logs for a rib fire, I'm gonna put it this way. So you see how it's a totally different bottom layer? Yeah. And so that way, it's different airflow. So this is gonna allow the flames to be more crisp and less smoky.
I didn't get into barbecue. I like jumped into barbecue. Like as soon as I thought of the idea of bringing barbecue home to where I grew up, it was like I went full force. There was no like, hey, let's go buy a brisket at HEB and start trying to cook and figure out like that. I Googled barbecue jobs. I had a full-time job in Houston. I Googled barbecue jobs. First job I interviewed at was Feegis Barbecue. They hired me on the spot. So I had 2 jobs for like 6 months. No one really knew I was working up there. I've always been told like work in silence, and for me, that's what we've done. I went from not owning a restaurant, never being in the restaurant industry, to now like running a very high level barbecue restaurant.
Little fat render. We like flavor here at Red Bird. If your brisket has a ton of white fat on it, you don't like flavor.
So that challenge of constantly figuring out how to make the brisket as good as you can, it's fun. If people say they don't like cooking brisket, I'm not gonna say anything. Never mind, because I just remember Cooper saying he didn't like cooking brisket. I'm not gonna say anything.
What is your least favorite thing to cook and why?
Brisket, not even close. Yeah, it's the least profitable thing we do. It's the biggest pain in the butt. It's brisket for sure.
Anyone that says they like to cook anything else but brisket, that on a barbecue joint is wrong, yes. I'm trying to big dog everyone.
Little baby. And you're trying to cook them to where all of them are coming off at the same time. That's ideal. Sometimes the briskets don't want to do what they're supposed to do, and they take a little bit longer than some of them do, but for the most part, our goal is to take them off all at the same time.
But I couldn't do it without the people that work here. I mean, when you're doing 80 to 100 briskets and 60 racks of ribs and 120 pounds of sausage, like, you have to have a crew. Everyone has to be focused. Everyone has to be dialed in at a very high level. There's no time to like not be focused.
Nice job, guys. We 820 in all briskets and pork ribs are off.
When I was figuring out the name of Red Bird, I was struggling with the name. So back in 2018, October, my stepbrother Cody passed away, and it was very sudden. And when that happens, everyone's thrown for a loop. When someone close to you passes away, you will see things that remind you of them. Well, for our family, it was cardinals, it was redbirds. As soon as he passed, like, that's all we saw. Making it something that like carried on that, like, it makes all of this worth it. And so I think about him, and that helps. I think about all the people that have invested in Redbird. That'll get you through. But it's tough. Friday is our hardest day because it's the first day of service, right? Got to get here early. First thing is making sure the turkeys are on. Obviously briskets, potatoes. Have to ensure those get in the oven.
You gotta make sure the potatoes are perfectly layered. There's no rush in this process.
I think when you mix cheese and potatoes, people already are like, they already want to try it. 2 different types of cheeses, very high quality. We shred it ourselves. That, with the combination of the spices that we put in it, I mean, we've got them so dialed in. It's like, not many people are doing scalloped potatoes and barbecue, and I think ours are by far the best.
You know, my dad actually got up early this morning. Got here at 5 a.m. to do the pita bread for Aunt.
Love your dad.
My dad, we can't keep my dad away from this place. He is here Friday as soon as he's done seeing patients. He's here. Delaney's on sides, and always on Fridays, her mom, she's always working the sides with her. So her mom will come in, her mom always helps, and Delaney and her mom are like best friends. Customers love that, I love that. They're great at it. And then my mom's here. When she comes down, she helps. My stepmom, Stephanie, she comes and helps a lot. My sister has been here, you know, she's here now, she helps a lot when she's in town.
I want my family to feel like welcome here. Yeah. It just makes things more of like a family environment, and I think that speaks volume to, you know, Redbird and where we're headed.
You need to get here around 10:30 to 11 o'clock to get the full menu. We can't blindly cook 50 briskets and hope people come. The whole idea of selling out is not to just post and be cool, oh, we're sold out of meats. You have to be cooking a strategic amount to where you're selling out and you don't have wasteful product. The customers have been crazy supportive. I'm talking a lot of regulars. You know, there's this one girl, Leah, like, my sister grew up with her. Just seeing her in line, like, everyone behind the line, as soon as we see Leah, like, we're all just so happy to see her.
Leah! Hello!
Oh, what up, Leah? How are you, sweetheart?
That's how you know you've made it. Can I get a pound and a half?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, girl. You're getting more today. You see more people? Yes.
Where I learned barbecue is very Central Texas. elevated at a very high level. We have a little Cajun influence, but I think for the most part, it's very traditional. So for example, like the spicy cheddar and green onion sausage, it's got cayenne in there instead of jalapenos. That right there is our flair on a Cajun spicy cheesy sausage. I always wanted to do stuff Cajun because number one, I am Cajun, I grew up down here. But number two, it's some of my favorite food. Like, you put all your energy into the customers because you want them to have an amazing experience. And then after that, it's like, all right, dude, here's another 8 to 10 hour shift. We still have 30 briskets to retrim. We got 25 to 30 cooking. But I think what makes it worth it is, number one, the people that we bring together. You can see them and loving the food. They're bringing their families out. They're just loving the food. That to me is worth all the hard work.
So Texas Monthly is basically kind of like barbecue Michelin guide. People all over the world will follow these lists and go to these places to try the spots that are supposed to be some of the best in Texas. So Texas Monthly does a list every 4 years or so where they do like a top 50 ranking of the barbecue in Texas.
Texas Monthly first came to Goldee's probably like 6-7 months after we opened.
The judge was here. He was the first person there. I don't think we had anybody else in line. But I'm guessing he liked it. After that, they came by a couple more times. Around when the list was coming out, actually, somebody leaked the cover of the magazine. And like, we all looked at it and was like, oh God, that's our tray. So we knew the kind of traction was gonna get that next weekend. So we drank some champagne for an hour and then like got right back to work on Monday, so.
This list is like huge, man. Dude, like overnight, just like quadrupled our business.
Our briskets went from, you know, anywhere from 5 to like 16 a day to like 40 to 50 overnight.
When we first started cooking barbecue and like going to all like the top 50 spots, we were idolizing these people and like it inspired us to try and open a barbecue restaurant. And so to see that come full circle, I don't know, it's hard to comprehend sometimes.
Originally, Goldee's was just 5 friends that wanted to open a barbecue place together. Lane, Jalen, Dylan, Johnny, Nupon.
So where's Nupon?
This week he got sick, unfortunately.
So how we all met was probably back in high school.
The first time I met Jalen, I beat him in a foot race super easily, super slow. I also beat Johnny in a race, super slow too. And Dylan, I probably beat him in a race.
Bush. Dude, we were racing last night, dude. Actually, no, he still smoked us. I hate to say that's wrong, but Lane is actually, I don't know how he's so damn fast.
Yeah, dude, Jalen's slowish. I think he's the slowest in the group.
You know, it's like 5 best friends that grew up in Arlington, Texas together, went to high school together and opened a cute little barbecue shop in Kennedale, you know?
We didn't quite pick Kennedale. I think Kennedale kind of picked us by being a cheap place for us to open up.
Rent was $2,000 and we're like, oh, we can afford that. So yeah, that's kind of why we ended up out here.
I think it's just a classic looking Texas barbecue place.
It's kind of country. See some horses, some cows. So it kind of feels like an old school barbecue spot, but we're doing more kind of like new school, you know, just a kind of elevated menu, so yeah. It literally took us like 6 months to come up with a name, but eventually Dylan, he had a truck that it was kind of gold. He called Goldee and like he just sent it in the group chat. We're like, oh yeah, that works.
And I think Nupon or somebody was like, we could spell it with like 2 E's and just make it look kind of different, and then yeah. So that's kind of the namesake right there, an old shitty pickup truck.
Tuesdays we get there at 5 a.m. and that's kind of when we start pretty much trimming briskets. Finish up briskets, we'll do some bread to bake that. Trim some of this stuff. First of all, you want to get kind of the best product. If you're buying, you know, cheap briskets, you're gonna get, you know, a product that's not that good at the end of it. I mean, we use Creekstone and they got the best briskets in the game. So for brisket, what you really want to look for when you're trimming them is you really want to get that fat down. We try to do it like a 1/4 inch, pretty much all around the brisket. It's 12 to 14 hour cook at, you know, pretty high temps. So you really don't want any sharp corners because that's definitely gonna burn it up.
This is the last brisket you're doing today? Okay. You got a bunch of.
Yeah, I would. So PJ is Nupon's little brother. Nupon will pick him up with me in the car. Like, we're going to his elementary school to pick him up, so it's kind of funny he's working here now. He was maybe one of the first people that really started helping us out.
About maybe a month into them opening, I just always came around and Lane and Jalen would be like, PJ, you know you want to work here. So I was just like, yeah, whatever. And then they kept me since.
He's a hard worker, so yeah, it's nice. I love having PJ around.
The brisket is probably the most popular item here. I think it's just a Texas thing. Other states, they do ribs, pulled pork. I think Texas is just brisket.
At Goldee's, we really like to pretty much have everything be homemade. So we do make our own bread. It's nice and buttery, you know, nice and sweet, salty. So it's some really good stuff. It's pretty much just rolling it. This is a nice little log, kind of, you know. We're probably not doing the right technique, but, you know, we're not bakers. We make barbecue. So a lot of places you go, you see the bread get tossed away. So we really didn't want that here. So we really put an emphasis on making really good bread. After we roll it, bought these bread pans, actually from IKEA. They're really good bread pans. We'll put them in there, kind of pan them down, make sure they're not sticking or anything. Then we'll kind of wrap them up. Then they'll sit in either the freezer or the fridge, depending on, you know, how much is it. Pretty long day, but not too bad.
So on Wednesdays, this is when we really start to get the prep going and getting ourselves set up for the week.
So what is this you're making?
Banana pudding.
So you're the reason why it's so yummy?
On a good day.
All right, we'll see. I'll let you know.
We knew when people would eat at Goldee's, the last thing they would eat before they left was the bite of dessert. You want to make sure that it's like an absolute banger. So we make the banana pudding from scratch, and we think it's extremely good, and people really like it.
I think you got a good batch right here. One for one so far. Plus, you don't have to strain it. Yeah.
With this, the bone scraps, we turn into stock, basically for like beans or pork hash. So there's no waste really, we just kind of use everything we can. I'm always like excited to see how the next list goes.
I know, it's
like,
gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy. So like see who places to wear and all that.
So yeah, the next list for Texas Monthly, the top 50, is gonna come out sometime in the summer. I'm not too sure which month, but it's coming up. I'm really not too sure where we will rank on this next list. You know, always hoping for #1.
Hopefully, hopefully we get #1 again. And the food is better than when we got #1 for sure. Actually, I'm gonna say, I think Rimmy's gonna get #1.
These are a lot faster to trim.
I believe Goldee's will rank #1. Simply, I believe in the food.
I don't know, dude. We might get #1. I feel like everything that PJ says comes true. So.
It's a profit.
Except the casino, yeah.
Yeah, if only, right?
If only. Boom. But right now I'm just soaking the beans, just salt and water basically. And right now it's the...
These soak overnight?
Yeah, overnight till about 5, 6 in the morning. And then we start cooking them.
I feel like for me, the most thing I'm proud of what all Goldee's has accomplished is really helping out the other spots, like the people that have worked here. Back, 5 years ago, people really weren't sharing secrets. So that's one thing we kind of wanted to, switch up. But it's also nice to see other people come in so passionate, like how we were. It's kind of like seeing us, when we first got into barbecue.
Amir has Red Bird BBQ in Port Neches. I think he's been open close to like 2 years now, and I think he's doing a good job. Zane has a little food truck in Fort Worth called Sabar BBQ. I think he's been open a little over a year now, and he's doing a good job.
Chuck, she owns her restaurant named Bird BBQ, located in Lockhart now. I talk to her almost every week. She's doing great.
Chuck's out there. She's more successful than us, She's won all the awards, done all this stuff. So it's great seeing that. People that, put in really hard work for us, because Chuck was here pretty much since the beginning. People like her, Zane, Amir, really, get some spotlight on that too.
I think Thursdays are really important because it kind of sets you up to have a nice smooth weekend. And it kind of warms you up into like the service days a little bit too. Usually when we first get here, we're in a rush to try and get things moving as fast as we can, because the later the briskets go on, the longer the night guy will be there. So the first task is getting the briskets on. So we'll touch them up, make sure the trim's on point.
We trim throughout the week, the briskets, but basically every morning the goal is to just touch them up, get any spots we missed throughout the week. We kind of hit like a few key points, like on the lean side we do about a 1/4 inch and then a tiny bit more on the fatty. See, because I think it'll render a little bit more on the fatty side. So we just try to keep a little bit more right here. As long as you're just getting those key points and it's like, it doesn't have to really look picture worthy. I mean, it's getting covered in pepper,
I like touching up the briskets because you're doing something, but it's also kind of relaxing. I don't know, I feel like it's just like being able to sit there and just focus on one thing instead of like a million things at one time.
So I feel like the brisket at Goldee's and why people like it so much is just that we pay so much attention to seasoning. Seasoning is, to me, is like the most important part for, cooking really anything. You can go to some place that smoke a brisket perfectly, but then, you go down to eat it and it's like, oh, this is kind of just no flavor to it. So, you gotta season your meats really well. We just use straight water, so this is a spritz bottle, kind of spritz them all up so that the seasoning sticks to them. And then we just do a nice even stream across, pepper first, and then we add the salt and then seasoned salt mixture on top. And we do, brisket by brisket and just having it being really flavorful. Unsalted brisket, bland brisket is like kind of the worst thing.
So y'all doing beef ribs every day now, or?
Yeah, every day.
Oh
yeah.
wow. Okay. When did that start?
I think the beginning of last year.
Okay.
Yeah. There's just a demand for them.
So we have 2,000 gallon offsets. We have a wood-fired rotisserie, and we have our backyard pit.
We were able to build probably one of the biggest smokehouses in Texas. There's just so much room. It's not 5 pits crammed right back to back to back next to each other. It's a ton of space. It never gets too hot. It feels nice and there's a good breeze in there, and we really lucked out with that.
I think we switched our techniques like 10 times since we opened up Goldee's on how we cook the briskets. Well, the way we're doing it right now is kind of just streamlined. We can teach, almost anybody how to cook our briskets now, and it having come out to just be super even across the board. Every brisket's pretty much going to be the same.
So many people have figured out how to cook brisket now. They can make it really good. There's so many barbecue restaurants producing like top-notch brisket. And I think we've stayed pretty true to like classic Texas brisket. And I think that's kind of what helped Goldee's stand out from the rest of the barbecue world, especially in more modern times.
After that, we'll start the more time-consuming tasks, like We'll get the potatoes boiling, we'll get hash rolling, we'll get beans rolling, and then we'll prep all the stuff for slaw, like the cabbage, the kale, the red onion, cut all the potato veg, red onion, celery, parsley, green onion. We'll mix all the potato salad, we'll trim pork bellies.
We just slice it into a few pieces. They'll smoke overnight, and then in the morning when we come in and put ribs on, fire it back up to finish them off.
Why did you have to go with me? It's experience, dude. Joseph's too cool to eat by himself. I don't eat breakfast.
Cooking wise, fire management is pretty big. So we run fires, start off with a pretty decent sized coal bed, try to keep the flames low, don't want them peeking into the actual chamber or anything. That's pretty much it. It seems difficult, but it's pretty simple. I think people just overthink it.
The number one mistake people make when they're cooking barbecue is just overthinking it, man. They try and do too much, man. You can't be doing too much. You gotta keep it simple, dude. It's barbecue.
Two-handed?
Two-handed.
Ambidextrous?
I'm bad with my left hand. We decided to open up Ribby's because I found this building on Facebook Marketplace. It looks sick, so we just did a tour, we walked through it, and we just wanted to see if we could make something cool again. And I think we did.
Those top racks are ready. The bin test. So I'm basically just trying to get it to a point where the back is cooked enough to where it's going to have some give to it. That lets me know it's rendered through enough. Honestly, this is pretty close, but this is, I would say, well enough on the bin. So you got to go temperature bin and look. I guess that's 3.
Ribby's is located in Fort Worth, and we're open Wednesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. When you come to Ribby's, you'll get out of your car, you'll notice the building is an old Sonic, but you'll see a smoker, you'll smell the smoke, you'll walk inside, order some ribs, and we'll get them right to you, really quick. The menu at Ribby's, we have baby back ribs, rib tips, chicken, and beef back ribs. And they all kind of have different flavors you can pick for each meat. And they all come with seasoned fries, a honey butter roll, and a pickle. Ribby's is kind of like a fast food barbecue place, but everything's still made with care and love.
To make sure on the same page.
So 24 and 30 are good?
Yeah. We each have 24 and 30? There you go, perfect. 24.
All right. Oh, thank you. You enjoy it.
So my favorite thing to cook is brisket. I feel like it's the most challenging thing at the restaurant, and it kind of keeps you on your toes. I mean, you want everything to be tender. You want everything to have like a good amount of smoke, not too much smoke on it. You gotta be juicy. You gotta eat it. You don't want to eat crispy, hard stuff on there. But really just paying attention to your cooks, not letting your fires get too hot, really not crisping up stuff.
We're just trying to finish up that last about 15 degrees on them. It's a really long process, but the briskets are so big, they need that time to really get that smoke in there and also to render out the fat. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now, just trying to render out that last remaining top fat on there.
My favorite thing about barbecue is probably just the cooking aspect. There are times where you're kind of hustling, but most of the time you're kind of just chilling. So yeah, I like that you can, check the fires, go back in, check your phone. So you can really take your time with it and not feel pressured, So here at Goldee's, we used to do butcher paper, but now we're actually doing a different style to where we leave it pretty much exposed the whole time for the cook and then actually wrap it in foil after. We found out that it gets a nice crispier bark. They cook a little bit quicker too. And then once you wrap that thing back up into foil, it kind of steams the bark too. So if you dig anything a little too crispy, it's gonna soften up overnight when we put it in the Alto shams.
I can't tell you how many nights we've spent recipe testing to the max and just like putting our heart and soul into the menu and food. And like, I don't know, I'm just glad that Goldee's has gotten the success that it has. Well, we kind of always had an entrepreneurial spirit, I think. When we moved to Austin, that's when we started really getting into barbecue.
So Goldee's opened up, it was February of 2020. So that was like a terrible time to open up. I think we had about 5 services before COVID really hit. We went from, our first day we did 50 briskets. And then, about 3 months later, we were down to like 5. It was a pretty sad time, but it was also kind of nice in a sense that we got to kind of dial in on some of our recipes. But that first year was a little scary. We all dropped out of college. We were like, oh man, we're gonna have to go back. I didn't know what to do. I thought this was gonna be our thing.
We did like curbside for like a year, and then when the doors opened back up, 6 months later we were #1, and it was all smooth sailing.
Basically, Friday through Sunday, we get here at 5. I'm usually the first one here, me and Lane, and then we start with the ribs first. We just season those up. We usually do about 35 to 40, depending on the weekend. We get them on around maybe 5:30-ish. And then we start the briskets right after, so pretty chill morning.
Oh, I definitely want to try the banana pudding too.
Have you ever been to Goldee's before?
No, never been.
So what brought you out?
The 2021 ratings.
It's
It just,
monthly,
yeah. I'm not one to come alone, so when we got married, I convinced her to come today.
Seeing how small and tight-knit the team is too. Like even just seeing, Lane is actually here
I know.
in the morning. And that we'll see Jalen later. Like that's just, that community aspect of it is just incredible.
Yeah.
We try to keep like a really small, tight menu, just so we have more control over like everything being really good. Whereas like if we have a really big menu, it's a little bit more hands-off and trickier to do. We want people to be able to order everything and try it all together instead of having like 10 meats and like you can only get a few of them.
We slice it basically like brisket, and then we start with some peach sauce. Yeah, we just throw it straight on wraps. Let it rest for about 40 minutes.
Probably my favorite thing about barbecue, and really just Texas barbecue, is kind of just like the crowd culture. When you go to restaurants with big lines, because you'll have people, from all over the state, from all over the country, all over the world in line, be right behind somebody, you don't know them. By the time they come up to us, the person in front of them is paying for the guy behind them. Their friends are exchanging information. It's kind of just like a party out here before we open up. So
this is about the only place I cheat is Texas and barbecue. I'm Brad, I'm a vegetarian, except when I wait in line for barbecue.
You do it like once a year or something, or?
About 3 times. We go to Franklin once a year in the winter. We kind of work on the Texas Monthly Top 10.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
With such a long line at Goldee's, try to do the best we can. In the cold, we got heaters. We give out lawn chairs. There's no need to bring your own. Yeah, we just try to make it as comfortable as possible.
You know?
So I added 3. I think it's got plenty of salt. Yeah, let me get this. Hi.
What do you think, Chef?
Chef, what do you think, Chef?
Pretty much every Friday morning, we'll cut us and like our staff a tray to kind of do like a quality control.
I think the most important thing in barbecue is like it tasting good, because if the texture is off, you know, there's ways to work around it, like slicing something thicker or thinner. I think tasting your food is really important because, one, people spend so much time and money to come out here to eat that we want to make sure it's something that we would also spend our time and money to come out here and eat.
So we're always tasting sides, bread, pickles, meats, how everything kind of plays together too, you know? Trying to just make a really well-balanced spread of barbecue for people to enjoy. And tasting is the only way to really kind of get there.
All right, come on in, y'all. How's it going? Well, right there, laying over there.
The weekends usually I'm cutting. I think the cutter's job is the last line of defense to like somebody getting a really good experience. And they get to see the meat being cut right in front of them and weighed out and whatnot, and then we plate it right in front of you too.
Any pork ribs for you guys? See, half on the brisket, half on the ribs.
Brisket and ribs are always the go-to.
The ribs are always like big, fatty, succulent, juicy spare ribs. And the sauce is just really amazing. It's like a nice balance, tanginess, sweetness, perfectly salty too. Like, I don't know, I just love that.
So my favorite menu item, it's a tough one, probably the pork belly. It's just, you know, nice, sweet, salty, fatty, super rich.
One of my favorites is the turkey. It always comes out juicy, it's light, it's nothing too crazy. And for me, it just hits a spot.
My favorite menu item at Goldee's is probably the cheesy grits, because I love cheese and they're delicious.
I really like our pork hash. The coleslaw, that's been, you know, one of the favorites since the beginning. And then also the grits, you know, you can't beat those 3.
I think what made Goldee's in general stand out from other restaurants was that we were always authentic to ourselves and trying to create a no-frills, good, honest barbecue platter.
Perfect. Yeah, if you need anything else, then just come up and I'll help you out.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll enjoy. Thank you for waiting.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
another piece, yeah?
Oh my gosh. Anthony, man. There's like a little bit of sweetness to it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
The most important thing when people walk away after trying our barbecue is just making sure they had a great meal.
We invested a lot of our lives into learning how to make great barbecue and great food, and I love that we can just all do it together.
We were trying not to, but like I think as soon as she left, we were like, I think the ones where they overdub it and it's all gone. Yeah, that was funny too.
In 2020, I left Goldee's and I moved to Colorado. I think I was kind of burnt out. So yeah, I made the hard decision to kind of step away and pursue new things. We all kind of had this dream back in the day when we were opening a restaurant of what it could be and what we could do. Seeing all of their hard work kind of come to fruition and turn into this huge thing is fucking awesome, man. I feel lucky to know these guys. I don't think you find friends like this too often in life.
It's a little strange to think about the fact that this counter service casual restaurant is a Michelin star restaurant. This is the first time any barbecue restaurants have earned a Michelin star. Michelin is known as a trusted authority when it comes to good food, high levels of hospitality, and to be recognized amongst the best in the world that way is just an incredible honor. It justifies what we've known the whole time, which is that there's just as much detail and difficulty in executing barbecue as anything else. Leroy and Lewis actually started as a food truck. We opened in the spring of 2017. No shade, no dining room, no bathrooms, no comfort of any kind. It was a plan the whole time to open a restaurant. We wanted the food truck to kind of introduce people to this different style of barbecue, but we knew that the amount of time we were going to be able to actually work in a food truck would be limited, knowing how difficult it is. Truthfully, I don't have a lot to do with the way the restaurant looks. That's not exactly my forte, but we expressed to the design team that we wanted it to reflect the menu and the philosophy of barbecue, which is new school barbecue. It needs to be a little bit familiar, a little bit new, a little bit old, a little bit interesting, yeah. When you're here early and it's really quiet, you know, the only sounds are the ones that you're making and you're kind of starting the fire. It's just like a slingshot, kind of all the way pulled back, and it's just got all this potential energy.
Got 3 different meats on right now. We have our brisket, we have our flat iron, and then we have our beef cheeks. All these will probably be on for about 12 to 15 hours, so got a very long day.
With the brisket, it gets put on a cold pit, and then we bring the temperature up slowly, kind of like to raise the temperature of the meat and the pit at the same time.
So what is that you're writing right there?
So this is our logbook. It's something that we keep a count of every day. We can go back and look. Be like, okay, cook was perfect, everything was good, everything was on time. A lot of people don't take that into consideration, but it does play into factor. I'd say this is probably the most labor-intensive thing we do too, is probably the burger. We have to double grind everything, and then we have to weigh each patty out, which is 8 ounces. We do roughly 200 burgers a day, so it's gone up drastically.
So outside of the barbecue, would you say this is the most popular?
Yes, yes, for sure. Nice, beautiful half chicken right here. Nice and yellow. I'm gonna start prepping my chicken, get that going. That way we can get loaded up on that direct pit.
I remember when Texas Monthly came for their rankings for the 2021 list. Sure enough, they order every single thing on the menu. We cut everything for it. Everything looked really good. And then there was the really difficult time, which is waiting. So that was a nerve-wracking time. So that was the highest a food truck had ever ranked, was number 5. We had always thought in the food truck that we were doing more with less than a lot of people were capable of doing, and that really kind of justified and solidified that idea.
So we're gonna make these kind of like a nice, beautiful oval shaped. We're not gonna just plop it down. We're gonna get a nice, good form on it. That way, whenever they cook, it's nice and tight, nice and neat. Kind of look. On chickens, we do directly over those coals. So we'll throw the coals in, and chickens will sit on top. It's the burn barrel. Get all these coals broken down. That way, I have enough to feed both direct pits to keep them going.
We cook with post oak, only post oak. I think that's just the flavor of Texas to me. That's what Texas barbecue tastes like.
We're gonna get this 500 going, and I have some boneless beef ribs that we're gonna load up as well. It'll be a special tomorrow, I believe. This is boneless beef rib, which will probably be like steak and frites.
Everybody here is obsessed with barbecue. That's why we are all here, because we really like it a lot, because we want to make some of the best barbecue in Texas.
So chickens kind of look that, I mean, just kind of looking at them, I can tell the skin's ready. Nice and stiff. Sauce them up, and then we'll flip them. Nice, beautiful, dark on the back side. So that's gonna darken up some more. Just won't be direct. But yeah, those look pretty already.
So service staff usually starts getting in around 7 o'clock. People in the kitchen are arriving at that point, starting to do prep, starting to set up the kitchen line. Everybody really comes in with a great attitude every single day. It's hard to show up every single day and really make a positive difference in whatever it is. And I think every single person who works here shows up with that mentality every day.
These get smoked for about 5 hours on the offset. You get this nice, beautiful, you can tell, like that could have gone a little bit longer, but like that's kind of what we're looking for. I toss them in our mustard sauce. Like these center ones will finish very fast. But like I just want a nice good burn. Kind of like a 60% burn. Like that nice burn in look. You're having a brisket now?
Yeah. For beef, we use Heart Brand beef and Dean and Peeler and Laureen Farms and a little bit of 44 Farms. And for pork, we use Peaceful Pork and a little bit of Richardson Farms. So we get about between 3 and 4 whole hogs a week. And that's all the pork we get. It's important to me to use locally raised meat because I want to, first of all, I eat this meat and I want it to be the best. I don't want a bunch of antibiotic and hormone injected meat to be what I consume, nor what I serve to the public. Second of all, just on a fundamental level, the best barbecue in Texas should be made with animals raised in Texas. I think that part's pretty simple.
So this is actually one shoulder. I had to break it in half, so. And we have our middle. Tuck that in like you would like a turkey breast.
Some of the original barbecue places were meat markets. That means they bring in whole carcass, half carcass of pigs and beef. So kind of taking that idea and running with it. We're obviously not going to sell any raw meat, but we want to be able to cut down the animals and cook them in a way that has barbecue in mind when we're doing that. So using butchery as a creative outlet, as a way to draw creativity from, is one of like the main tenets of new school barbecue.
Really good. Yeah.
So we do these steaks reservation only. These are hand-cut, house-butchered steaks that we either get in from a whole cow ourselves or we export from Dean and Peeler out of Floresville. It's good stuff. They are really nice steaks. This is just kosher salt. I'm going pretty heavy on them.
Our pitmaster, Cole, is the best barbecue cook I've ever known. For how young he is, he's got just an incredible barbecue mind. He already has the equivalent of multiple degrees in barbecue.
Have you done beef cheeks like this?
No, I've never even had beef cheeks until yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
They're amazing.
My favorite cut of barbecue, I'm gonna go ahead and say beef cheeks. That's my favorite cut. When we were first opening, it was 2017, and none of our local purveyors could get us brisket. They said, we have beef cheeks available. Can you smoke those? And I said, yeah, we'll do it. Something that we kind of stumbled upon here that I think really epitomizes new school barbecue. It really surprises people, and it's really, really delicious.
Couldn't tell you this is the secret right here, motor oil.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
We just go around all the Jiffy Lubes and just ask for whatever they're gonna throw out. Royal Purple number 7 is what we're looking for.
Leroy and Lewis, the name just comes from the last names of the owners of the restaurant. Myself and my wife, Lindsay Leroy, and Nathan and Sawyer Lewis. I was a chef. My wife, Lindsay, does outward-facing communication, PR. Nathan brews beer, and Sawyer is a front of house everything. So all of it kind of lined up to where it made sense for us to work together. The mayor has recognized today.
I don't know, I guess we'll read the proclamation.
Because it will be a year since we have opened. They're officially declaring it Leroy and Lewis Day. The city decided they wanted to honor the restaurant, to recognize the restaurant. We are incredibly thankful and humbled by that.
We're really amazed with everything y'all have done here. It's been great for our city. We have people coming in, from all over the world eating in restaurants like yours, and we wanted to take a minute to recognize that and appreciate your hard work. Be it known that whereas after 7 years as a food truck, Leroy and Lewis BBQ opened their first brick and mortar restaurant and bar in South Austin in early 2024. And whereas in November, Leroy and Lewis received a Michelin star in the inaugural Texas Guide, making it one of the first barbecue restaurants in the world to receive this.
The most important thing I've learned on my journey is that you can't do anything alone. I love every single person who works here. They're all fantastic people. They're all incredible professionals at what they do. So thank you guys. Thank you. Here's to many more years and more proclamations. Have a good Friday! Leroy and Lewis is open Wednesday to Monday. We open at 11 a.m. So the restaurant's pretty big. It has a couple different dining rooms. We have kind of the main dining room that also has the barbecue line. That's how you order. You can get your alcoholic drinks from the bar if you want. People still wait outside here just because it's a busy restaurant. But if you are going to be waiting in line, at least you have a drink in your hand.
From the door, it's about an hour wait. We do have some great options available at the bar. Everything on the back of the menu is available at the bar.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Happy to have you. So one of the challenges that we have as a barbecue restaurant that is open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day is that we want to make sure to accommodate everyone that walks in the door. Some people obviously cannot afford to wait 2 hours in line. So we have an offering on the back of the menu, which we call our Anytime Eats menu. So one of the things we did when we designed this Anytime Eats menu was to make sure that we had our L&L burger on that menu. We wanted something that was a classic Leroy and Lewis dish that we could commit to never running out of.
The L&L burger is our signature burger. Brad Robinson and I kind of came up with this idea for this burger together. It is a house ground brisket patty that is seasoned heavily with salt and pepper, smoked to about medium rare, and then seared on a really hot griddle. It's served on a Martin's potato bun, has some of our burger sauce, which is 50-50 beef barbecue sauce and mayo, has some grilled onions and pickles and American cheese.
I have 3 plates.
Oh.
You want to come back for the last one? You can take that buzzer. Oh, you've done this before.
I will call our style of barbecue New School Barbecue. New School Barbecue basically means cooking outside of the traditional idea of barbecue. Expand the idea of what you serve on the side. Expand the idea of what are the desserts. Expand the service model. So basically, trying to take the core of barbecue, which is meat and smoke and fire, and then expanding from there.
That's awesome. You tried that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should definitely give it a shot.
What makes good barbecue? First of all, it has to be cooked well. And then beyond that, it has to be served correctly. You can either get a plate with two sides of whatever sliced barbecue that you want, or you can get a by the pound serving and kind of a picnic style side.
Happy Leroy and Lewis Day. What can we do for y'all today?
So we're going to first to cook.
Sure.
Half a pound of brisket.
Absolutely.
We have brisket. It is Akushi brisket from Heart Brand Beef. Crunchy crust, that's our brisket. We have the pulled whole hog. There should be like strings of belly and flakes of loin and like chunks of rib. So everything kind of mixed together is really what makes the dish sing. It's the different textures. That's the point of the dish. We have direct heat smoked chicken from True Bird Farm. Chicken is very popular, really good. We have the flat iron, the signature sliced beef of this restaurant. It's almost like in between lean and fatty brisket, okay? But it also has that sinew through the middle that breaks down and becomes sticky and unctuous like a beef cheek.
2 pounds of cheeks, who's getting that? That's good.
Do you want them sliced up?
Nope, just whole, sir.
Beef cheeks are just like a little tiny fist-sized brisket, but it has all the stickiness and unctuousness of eating barbacoa. It is just really, really good. It's ultimate beefy flavor in a tiny little package.
2 pounds of cheese.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you. Evans smoked cheek meat. His other food is good, brisket's good, but this is the greatest stuff.
We have the cheddar cheesecake. That was a holdover from the food truck. That one's really good. We also have the German chocolate cobbler, pecan and coconut cobbler with a chocolate cobbler topping. That is a buttermilk ice cream.
All the desserts are great too. We've had them all, but I think this is my favorite. And then the sides here are just by far the best that you'll get at any barbecue place.
I'm half Hispanic. That reflects in the food that I eat, in the food that I like to cook. So the choripapas is a side dish that are on the menu that is something my grandmother made growing up for me. Uncased beef chorizo mixed with fried red potatoes. We have Texas red chili Frito pie, which is my favorite dish on the menu. I think we stand out by continuing to do what we do. We have to challenge ourselves to come up with things that are uniquely Leroy and Lewis, that are somewhat familiar but somewhat new. I first got into barbecue just living and growing up in Austin. It was ubiquitous. It was everywhere growing up here. But it wasn't until I really left Austin and Texas, went to places that didn't really have barbecue like Tallahassee, Florida, New York City, that I really missed it like enough to get involved in it, to really want to put myself in the position to be able to cook it well. Brisket is the biggest deal in Texas. It's the definitive cut of Texas barbecue. When I'm making the foil boat, we crimp the foil outward. That is so it gives you handles on the side of the boat. The aluminum foil just doesn't get that hot, so you can use it as a handle to kind of move the hot briskets around. The idea behind the foil boat is to make the fat crunchy and then to have everything else, nice and rendered and soft under that. It's just essentially two cross sections of aluminum foil that are crimped out to form a boat and that has sides to it that is open on the top. I think a great chef or a great pitmaster should be able to teach people really well. Being a good pitmaster means that you have a good team, that you're a good leader.
This is for the night service?
Yeah, the tri-tips are.
Where do you guys sear the tri-tips at?
So we have a wood-fired grill inside, and that's
Oh,
where we're
okay.
gonna sear them off
Same
at.
place the carrots are done?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that same grill.
We have a dinner menu that we've just launched on the weekends. We also put tri-tip on the menu at 5 o'clock as kind of the dinner time sliced beef. We have a lot of other stuff besides just traditional by the pound barbecue.
Thank you very much.
We have a dinner menu now that has a couple dishes. It has a grilled bok choy dish. It has a steak frites. It also has a smoked beef bourguignon.
Stuff get nice and tender.
You guys have any questions I could answer?
Well, we were gonna order some.
Yeah. Barbecue is good at cooking meat, right? And like the ultimate meat is like just a big, awesome, badass steak. So we do steak reservations. You can book your reservation here. You get a server, you come in at a certain time. You don't have to wait in line. You can order anything else you want off the menu.
So it's going to be local bacon with a jalapeno chive cream frite. Enjoy, guys.
You know, we were always very limited in what we could do at the food truck. So when we got into the restaurant, that's something I really wanted to do, was do some kind of dinners here.
My name's Cole. 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 Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, sir. Landy, nice to meet you, sir. They sent somebody from the mayor's office, and today was declared Leroy and Lewis Day in Austin. All right, yeah. There we go. So you guys get to dine with us on Leroy and Lewis Day. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Yeah. Aaron and Ben have cooked most of the food that you guys are going to eat tonight, and they also smoked your steak. Once you step up there.
And people always want to go look at the pits when they're at a restaurant. I kind of thought of pairing those together, making sure that we could do like a full table service here. It's a really cool experience, the steak experience.
These are all house butchered and house aged.
This is some beef tallow that has a little bit of rosemary and garlic in it. And some herbs that grow in our garden, some oregano. Then this is that steak sauce Matthias was talking about. Enjoy, guys. Thank you so much.
Enjoy. Did you guys need anything else at the moment?
This is a neighborhood restaurant, and a lot of people come here for dinner. So we can't just make a certain amount and sell out. We need to be able to serve everybody that comes in here.
Because it will require, yes.
Do you guys still do the bacon rib?
Oh yeah, every Saturday. We take the half hogs that come in, we cut out the whole belly with bone in still, and we cure that whole slab like a slab of bacon for 7 days. And then we smoke it like a whole slab of bacon, and it'll get tender and nice and crusty. And it kind of presents like a beef rib, but it tastes like a pork belly burn end. The customer experience at Leroy and Lewis, I hope that they walk away going, wow, barbecue can be so much more than I ever thought it was.
What got me interested in barbecue is just like every red-blooded American with a grill in their backyard, you know? It's just something primordial about a man, meat, and fire. Oh, me. And that's how it is. And every guy in America is fed lies that they have the best barbecue in the world by the people that get it for free and their family that don't want to hurt their feelings. My neighbor Dale would always come and we'd always drink beer and barbecue. He's like, bro, you have the best barbecue I ever had in my life. I'm like, whatever, dude. He goes, all right, there's a cook-off. I'm gonna interview. I'm like, you're stupid, I don't have money for that. He goes, no, I'm gonna pay for it. What do I do? He's like, it's all right, Saturday, it's on the weekend? Yeah. Well, let me put my schedule request in. So I was working at Weesatch Grill. I was one of the head chefs over there. I used to give them crap for taking a weekend off. So now I'm asking for a weekend off, and they're like, dude, what do you need the weekends off for? And I'm like, well, my neighbor wants me to try my barbecue out in a cook-off. And like, well, I gotta cook, brisket ribs, chicken, and beans. And they're like, dude, you're probably gonna burn the beans. So, that's how we got the name, and it stuck. I had that guy right there with a lid. Can you see it back there? The 50-gallon, cut off, modified. That thing is the rock star right there. 52 teams, first place. And it was over. I was bit. I got into it, and I barbecued in the competition world for from 2007 to 2019, so 12 years. I think I won over 50 grand champions, a couple of state champions. It got to the point where promoters were telling me not to say where I'm going, because when people found out where I was going, they wouldn't go there. They're like, F that, I ain't going to Ernie. They used to make fun of me because I'd always wave at people. And they're like, look at this guy blessing people like he's the Pope. And yeah, he's the Pope of barbecue. And then the rest is history, man. The Bird BBQ is located in Seguin, Texas, downtown. It's a great little spot in this little small rural town. And just as much as the Bird BBQ name is unique when it comes to barbecue, same thing with the building. It doesn't look like your typical barbecue joint. It's just like this grand cathedral of a building with these high ceilings, and it's just got this vibe that you can't recreate. We had this one customer, he's like, I'm really digging this barn house industrial. I'm like, what the f is that? And then he's like, yeah, that's what they call this. I'm like, yeah, barn house, that's what we're going for, is the barn house industrial. And I was like, dude, we're just bougie on a budget, you know what I mean? I get here every day at 2:30 in the morning. I start the beans and make the pasta. And for a good 4.5 hours, it's just me. And it's time to collect my thoughts. It's time to, think of how the day's going.
So all morning, is it just constantly like these two burners like going?
I mean, you got a nice building, but there's no kitchen, man. This is it. So it was an old burned down bakery, and then it became a bar. So it was never a kitchen. Dude, we got 2 burners, bro. That's it. Okay, so the queso mac, when I came up with the queso mac, it had like tomatoes, it's got like a salsa in it. It's like you would want to eat it with chips. And I thought that would be kind of cool. That's what we call it, queso mac. And we put it with the mac and cheese, and I was using it at the time. But here goes to what you want to do and what your customers want, your consumers. Well, 90% of people that come in with families, who loves mac and cheese? The kids. So when you have that and they're like, oh, it's too spicy. I'm like, well, let's just run this. And it's still good. But man, when I do my old school, damn, that's what we should. So there was a group page on Facebook called Texas Pitmaster Barbecue, and the people who look out talent put a flyer up there and said, hey, we're looking for, chefs at barbecue. So we have this, thing called Chop Grill Masters, and we're looking for 16 of the best barbecue grill masters there is in America, and you're vying for $50,000. So I got on the show, and that's it. And when I was there, bro, all the other ones have went against master chefs and beat them. I've never even met a master chef. I was fanboying the people that I was going against because I was like, oh my God, I have your book. Oh my God, I have your barbecue sauce. Oh my God, you're Sam Choi, the king of Hawaii. Aloha man. And after the first dish was done, I felt more comfortable, and I won. And then I won the next one, and then I went to the finals, and then I beat them. I beat them all, and I was 50 G's in my pocket. I remember Sam Choi from Hawaii. He asked, hey, what's your name? And I said, my name is Ernest Cervantes, and they Googled me, and there was 0. Like 0 in Google. Like, this motherfucker doesn't even have anything on Google, and he just whooped y'all's ass. I cried the whole way home and I called my wife. Now I can go buy me a trailer to barbecue. Now it was like, now I can go to the next step of how to get to this restaurant.
He's at it again,
He
huh?
can do whatever the fly do. He can fix PA systems and then put a 350 block in a car in the same day. Oh, by the way, he makes killer briskets as well. Super Dave Kirkland is my business partner. His job is to cook the proteins and to finish them off. I start them, but he finishes them. And to fix it around here. Like, he's good at what he does. There's a saying I always say to people, if I meet you for the first time, you're writing your resume towards me. So I'll find out if you're a good person, a bad person, a hard worker, lazy worker, a good father, bad father, you know, whatever. And what made Dave my business partner, he has the same work ethic as I do. We work. There's no excuses, we work, because you gotta work. There's no days off. If we can't take days off, yeah, we're tired, but we gotta put the grind in. And he puts his time in, man. So our brisket rub is 90% salt and pepper, and then we use kosher salt, and then we use water as a binder. You'll see a little orange tint, and it's from like the paprika or, you know, whatever those stuff we use. It just gives it the little bit of color that I want.
Wow, that's a monster. What is that, like a 25-pounder?
Yeah, pretty much.
What the heck?
Our ribs is 16 mesh and our AP. We make an AP rub. Our turkey has that too. Our pork chops has that too. Our lamb ribs has a Moroccan style lamb rub we make in-house. It's called lamb breast. It's not lamb ribs. They call it lamb breast because it has the breastbone on there. It's this big old thing right here. And actually we have to trim most of it off. So even when you cut it, you don't have clean ribs. You still got this one breastbone plate right here. And once it's cooked, you gotta take it out too. I always, the first 2 hours I cold smoke because I wanna knock the chill off. I go straight from the cooler to here, and I don't want them to start at like 250 or whatever, and then they tighten and they kind of curl up and all this stuff. So what we do is I literally cold smoke them just to bring them to temp. And once I like the way they feel, that's when I start cooking them. We use 3 different levels of post oak, and they have a certain type of moisture on it. For the beginning of when we cook, I use the bigger cuts, which have a higher moisture content because the smoke has a better flavor tones. But yeah, it's all post oak. And I always say this, you never get tired of working the pits because it's the art of controlling fire with a piece of wood and controlling temperatures with a piece of wood and a shovel to stoke the coals to see how your fire is going. It's the best feeling in the world, man. A lot of people are curious on the pit room. My favorite thing is, and Dave and I always make a joke, we had a quarter for every time someone goes and walks right by and says, is this where the magic happens? You know, we'd be rich, you know? And we got the smokehouse right here. We got the mill scales. Those are our workhorses. We have the M&M La Negra, and she can hold like, I think up to 1,000 pounds. We've never gotten her that big, but that thing's a freaking monster. The 2 main pits are very sentimental to me. I named them after my grandma. So we have one named Amelia and then one named Belia. These ladies had 3rd grade educations and 2nd grade educations, didn't know how to read and write. They worked hard, doing whatever it takes to survive, to become very successful business ladies, driving Lincoln Town cars, Cadillacs, paying them cash from a 2nd grade education. So there was no fucking reason for me not to bust my balls if they can do it with that. Okay, so the Texas Monthly Top 50 is the holy grail of how good you are. Everybody's dream, and you can tell anybody, when you open a restaurant, you hope and pray that Texas Monthly shows up. The top 50 was gonna come out, and we didn't see our name. Then we hit top 10, And then you see, you know, Panther City, and then you see Cadillac and Franklin's and Snow's. We're scrolling and it's like 7, 6, and then I'll always remember because I saw Evan Leroy at 5 and I saw company and I'm like, we got number 4, dude. Holy shit. Dude, I don't even drink champagne. I went to the H-E-B and bought a bottle of fucking champagne. I was popping bottles at 10:45 in the morning. I gave 2 shits of who was in line. This is the greatest day of my life other than when my kids were born. There was a couch up front and there was a green couch and I'd sleep there, man. I'd sleep there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and go home on Sunday. And we laugh about it, but for 2 years, I slept on a couch. You gotta do what you gotta do to make things happen, man, and that's what I did. But to get number 4 was like, they say number 4 in the state of Texas is like 4 in the world, so hey, I'll take that. You know what else I didn't tell you I won?
What?
We got top 25 taco joints too from Texas Monthly.
Oh my gosh.
For breakfast. Our tacos are killer here, and it was enough to get top 25 new tacos.
So savory, warms your soul, and then you get that cheesy tortilla. Nice soft tortilla, man. So good.
So yeah, we do thick cuts of, like you go on a steakhouse and how they give those big thick pieces of bacon. So that's what we're doing here. I'm curing it for about 10 days. Then we smoke it for about 14 hours. And then you slice it and you slowly cook it just to render up fat and get the nice color. It's beautiful, man. It's like a labor. It's like sausage making. It's a labor of love, man. I got my cookers that come in at 8. They start making all the other sides. We start running that. My front of the house comes in and they clean up, put down chairs and get everything ready. We do line tests. We taste everything, make sure everything's okay. We've done it before where if it's not up to par, we throw the whole batch away. And then by 10:45, everything's locked and loaded. We should pretty much be ready. So the Burnt Beans hours are Thursday through Saturday from 11 to 3 or till sold out. And then on Sundays, we open up at 8 for our brunch. When people come in here, it's destination barbecue. We don't have the big cities like Austin and San Antonio that you can be open. You're gonna have people there because there's millions living there. And we're caught in the middle. We're like the redhead stepchild. We're like literally 45 minutes this way, 45 minutes that way. So we have to work twice as hard to get noticed. I remember going into so many food groups on Facebook. They said it was conspiracy we had lines and they're gonna close down. I'm never gonna give them my business. And I said, Dave, what we're gonna do is have to work extra hard and kill them with kindness, shut them up and make them believers. And as the years gone by, the haters are now some of our #1 customers. But it's like we had to win them over. And it's just small town mentality. That's how it was in my hometown. What else?
Half on turkey and a pork chop.
Like try a slice of our bacon that we make in house? It's just a little guy.
Oh, it is, okay.
So on service days, I'm the one that cuts the meats. I'm the guy that makes your fantasies fulfilled, you know what I mean? I'm the genie, man. Tell me what your wishes are. I'm gonna grant them right now, man. The cutter's the star of the show because it'll make or break the experience right off the bat. Because if you have a cutter that's unfriendly and it's more like, hurry up, what do you want, what do you want, what do you want? People are gonna feel rushed, like their first impression's already bad. We just had people wait an hour in line or more to have our barbecue. When you've waited all that time, you're right in front of me, you get the 45 seconds or a minute, it's catered for you. It's your time. What do you want, lean, you want fatty, do you want ribs? It's whatever you want. I feel like Willy Wonka. Because the candy man can, you know what I mean? There's no better feeling when you have everything you wanted on the tray that you asked for.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Let me right here. Can I
Yeah, right here.
A pound of brisket, okay.
The most popular cut of barbecue at the Burnt Bean is brisket. I mean, people don't say, hey, let me have, you know, the sausage. I came in, let me have 5 pounds of sausage. Yeah, our sausage is good, but no one ever does that. They're here for the brisket. Brisket's king, and that's how it is. I remember growing up having brisket sandwiches or sliced brisket. You know, you go to, you know, you're in Texas, it's beef country, you know. That's what everybody's used to and they're raised with is beef. You know you got a kid sandwich, right? You got the kid sandwich. Yeah. When you come to the Burnt Bean, I don't want you to compare anything other than the brisket because we all do the same brisket. My ribs are different, everything else is different. We have a new thing called the Plowman. It's a really cool tray and I make homemade pork rinds and then I season them up and then I serve 2 deviled eggs with salsa macha, then steakhouse bacon and then a barbacoa boudin. And then we'll have our Moroccan style lamb ribs. Why? Because I love lamb, I've always loved lamb. And then we'll have our pork chop. If you think of pork chops, if you go to other places, it's like turkey. Sometimes it's really dry, sometimes it's overcooked. And I think we've got it down to a science that it's just really good and it just a slight hint of smoke, but it's so good and savory. But I'm telling you, that pork chop of ours is fucking gangster, bro. Yeah, that's my favorite cut, man. We serve our famous peach cobbler taco on desserts. We make our own buñuelos and we form them into tacos. My peach is in bourbon. And then we serve it with dulce de leche ice cream. That's my version of cobbler, man. It's fucking stupid. What we make here at the Burnt Bean is non-offending barbecue. It is executed right. We're not using a million ingredients. It is non-offending that someone at 2 years old and 92 years old can enjoy.
When did they shoot this?
It's been a few months ago. It's you, Dave. Where's your Burnt Bean shirt?
Oh, that was my special one.
The number one thing that people overlook when they're cooking barbecues, they overthink it. People are like, oh, it's gotta be 205 and it's gotta be 163 when I wrap. I just feel. And it's about feel and smell and touch. When it's ready, it's ready. It'll tell you it's ready.
I've never seen anybody put the tallow on like that.
Really?
Yeah. Like around the brisket?
This paper is just protecting it from drying out. So you want it to stay moist right away, otherwise it just gets dry and heat. Look at this little guy.
TV Herman.
Where'd he come from?
Aww.
So they were wrapped with love. But then I started doing Pac-Man.
That was the old one, Pac-Man. Now you're just having fun.
So in the barbecue industry, you're always a day ahead. You know, your briskets are a day ahead, you're prepping the day before. It's funny because once we're done, we're like, all right, clean up and we got to start it all over. We got briskets coming in that are being cooked. We get all our prepping stuff. We got to get the line set up for the next day. It never stops. It's like, next, you know?
Here you go, ma'am. Here's your to-go order right here for your order. Just no, sir. If you don't want it, I'll gladly take it off your hands. There you go, boss.
I try not to sell out. I really don't. I hate it. I hate when we close down at 1:30 or 1:45. I could have done better to provide more proteins for the person that drove a long ways, that they have options. It drives me nuts. You know, and in this world of small businesses, you know, where we have to sell everything, and it is true, but it's okay to have a brisket left over.
So why are you stabbing the briskets?
If it's too stiff, let it go. But after like I'm done checking, I'll normally check the front one since the heat was right there, and of course the temp would be a little low, but if they feel, then I can pull them out. No, it's fair.
You guys watch the warmers every night?
Every night.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen anyone watch them once.
We deep clean this guy every Sunday. All right, guess I gotta put a pin in this and go eat. they're big on eating as a family, which is nice.
So, you know, at the end of the day, if my team killed it, we were super busy, I'll go get pizza. I'll get pizza for the team or burgers or, you know, sometimes chicken tenders, whatever they want. Most of the time, we eat as a family. I'll tell you one thing, the biggest misconception of people getting into this world is they think it's gonna be easy. I call it the gold rush of barbecue. Everybody's wanting to do it because they see everybody else doing it. They think they're gonna get it in the top 50 and they're gonna have lines out the door and they're gonna have sold out signs and everything. And the reality is, it's fucking hard. I work 19 hours and I gotta do it again tomorrow. And people don't see that. It's not a happily ever after. You gotta slay that dragon every day. Being a chef in the culinary world, the bucket list is to get a James Beard Award or be nominated for a James Beard. The first year we were open, we got nominated for Best Chef in Texas, and I'll always remember because I came out crying. Like, I was like, Dave. He's like, what? And I'm like, I said, we're a James Beard semifinalist, and I'm bawling and tears of joy. And Dave's like, what is that? I'm like, dude, you don't know what a James Beard is? To put that on your accolades or your resume that you're a James Beard, not even if you won the goddamn thing, you were nominated for a James Beard, dude. And then the finals came out and we didn't get it. And I didn't give two shits about it because I was already like, check. I got one and I'm good. So that was in 2022. So 2023 comes around. And then Dave's like, dude. I'm like, what? We got nominated again. I'm like, shut up. And then we weren't crying this time, we were cheering, but now my game face was on because by then the burn bean has been established. We're really running on all cylinders. We actually might have a run for being a finalist. And by then people knew who we were. We were really creating a buzz. And I said, man, if we can get to the finals, that would be epic. And the list came out, we were a finalist. We're going to Chicago. And dude, we were like, yeah, we were high-fiving. And we really thought we had a chance. So, you know, we didn't win it. And but it was a hell of an experience. We had a lot of fun. And then year 3 comes around and I'm like, dude, we're not gonna get 3 years in a row. We literally started at the same time and we're scrolling and it says Best Chef Ernest Cervantes, Dave Kirkland, Burnt Bean Company. And I was like, holy shit. This isn't just the best chef of Texas. This is the best chef of the country. A barbecue joint, a fucking barbecue joint, bro. To be considered with Michelin-star restaurants in the same category. You had LA, you had Chicago, you had New York, you had Vegas, you had Seattle, and then you had Seguin, Texas. I mean, how cool is that, right? I've been working in restaurants since I was 16 years old. That's all I ever wanted to do, man. And I'm telling you right now, I've been in the restaurant industry for fucking 20 years, brother. I've worked in a lot of kitchens. This is the hardest kitchen I've ever worked in, man. It's labor intensive. So the doors open on Sunday for our brunch at 8 in the morning. And it lasts, the eggs last till about 11:30, depending on how many we have. Sunday brunches is the Mexican Waffle House, bro. Straight up, short order cooking, go, 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 go. But it's so much fun. It's only on a Sunday, it's only for 3 hours. It's not something they can get every day. And they're coming from Houston and Dallas and San Antonio and the Valley because they know this type of flavor. It hits, it triggers something. A memory from my dad's pork steaks to to my dad's brisket, to my grandmother's desserts. Everything you see is a story of how I was raised.
2 of us on channel third. Anything else? Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And that's one thing I do here, is I'm making barbecue that you want to eat, that I want you to eat, because I make shit that I want to eat. Like some specials, because I got a craving for it. One of our dishes is named Blue October after my favorite band. It's a buttery, flaky croissant, and it's got candied jalapeno cream cheese, slice of fatty, a fried egg, and you know, it's already like a couple of thousand calories. You were like, fuck it, put strawberry jelly on top and then closed it. I mean, it's pure indulgence, and it's like you bite it and it's like, oh. And I love people trying to be proper and trying to cut it with a knife. I'm like, get out of here, just get into it, man. I want you to get hit right here when you eat it. It's called soul food, man. And I want people to eat, and it's not a meal. It's like, this is really fucking good, you know?
Thank you so much.
Hey, y'all have a great day. It's like I tell people, I have the 56-year-old plan. I know realistically that I'm not gonna be, in a couple of years, fast enough to be on the chopping block. So they're gonna like, hey chef, move over to sides. And then I know at a certain age, I'm not gonna be fast enough for sides. They're like, move over and go to garnish. And then I know I'm gonna be too slow for garnish, so they're like, chef, go and fill up teas. And they're gonna be like, chef, dude, yeah, you're too slow. Go bust tables. And until I can go and work every position, and I get kicked out of every position, and they put me on the corner on a table, and I can just enjoy the view that I worked years for, then I'll be okay.